And I will be sharing on Facebook Live. So just bear with me, y'all, just for another moment while we get this party started. This is our spiritual talent show, Art as Resistance. And you are most welcome. Put in the chat right now if you are going to be expressing yourself, if you are going to be sharing something, write it up in the chat. I have yet to look at it, so maybe some of you have already done so. But if you have yet to, then just write your name in the chat, and that way I will know, we will all know that you will be expressing yourself tonight. Okay, so we are now official on Facebook. Okay, wonderful. Blessings once again. If you are just tuning in, everybody say hello to the Facebook Live crew. And what do we do? There's the laugh track. Okay. Okay, what do we do for reals? For reals, we start with lighting the candle. So I can see some of y'all laughing at that. I said I was going to get a laugh track. I got the laugh track. And you don't know what else could happen. Just at my whim. You never know what can happen at roll, because that's how we roll. Okay, so in all seriousness, now we are lighting the candle. So if you have a candle that you would like to light, please do so. And then let's, I'll say a prayer to consecrate this time and this space, even though this is a really fun, exuberant, effervescent service tonight that you are co-creating together. It is still important to consecrate this time with a word of prayer, remembering that I will pray the way that I pray. Prayer may look or sound very differently, and that's okay because we are multipath here. Yes, yes. So let's begin. And if you are able to feel your feet on the ground, then please do so. And if you are able to just be in a comfortable position, then that works as well. And so let us take 3 deep breaths in, breathing in through the nose. And exhaling out the mouth. And then again, a big, lovely inhale through the nose. And then again, the exhale. And now this third one, really make this count. And if you'd like to, on the exhale, release a sound, you can do so. So breathing in. And exhaling out all your cares or concerns or worries. And so, Holy One, universal love, what a joy it is to be here together at Roll with the family in this community across the country. And so we are so grateful that we get to be here and to hear one another and see one another and really love one another. This night is about amplifying voices and respecting and enjoying each other. So many different pieces of ourselves often go unnoticed. And so in this way, in this holy community called the Revolution of Love, we get to take a pause and listen and adore and be in joy with one another, with each other. And to that end, dear one, our beloved, let us remember to create change, that in that seeing and hearing and loving, there is a change that begins to stir in the hearts, in the minds and the bodies of all of us here. And let us also remember to connect that to a holy resistance, to a way of seeing the world differently as well, and hearing the world differently, that we may truly usher in a divine love, a highest love that comes from you. And the people said, Amen, Amen, Ashe. Oh. Oh. So we will have our land acknowledgement now, and I will ask for a volunteer to read said land acknowledgement once I get that up on the screen. And so who would like to come off mute and read our land acknowledgement, please?
I can. Oh,
Thank
go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Doctor.
Okay, sure. At this time, the land acknowledgement. At this time, we want to take a moment to reflect on the lands on which we reside. We are coming from many places, and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of Indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they are still here fighting for human rights and for lands and their culture. I am in central Indiana and acknowledge the stolen lands of the Potawatomi and Chippewa people. Please acknowledge the lands which you reside upon in the chat. If you don't know, go to native-land.ca from Speak Out Now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robert Gross. And Taylor X, would you read our path acknowledgement, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Taylor X. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And we take this time to acknowledge and honor the many paths and beliefs represented here. We honor all religious philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, healing modalities, and spiritual perspectives. We honor the life experience and wisdom you have brought here today. We respect you. We welcome you into this brave space. And we emphatically state that disrespect, prejudice, discrimination of any kind has no place here. We empower one another through respect and strength to be true revolutionaries of love and justice. We see you, we hear you, we love you. If you have a path, faith, tradition, belief system, please share it in the chat so we can get to know you better. Back to you, Rick.
Thank you. And actually, Taylor X, since you are here and you just read that, I think we would be remiss if we did not ask you to say those words you say oftentimes. Would you?
Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for sharing the means for the service. We are growing with lovely people from across the country and around the globe. Again, feel free to copy and share them at will. And at roll. There's one more thing. We want everyone here and on Facebook to know, and I mean really know this, deep down in the marrow of your bones, that you are somebody. You are important. You are a big deal, and you matter. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. Thank you so much, Rev.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the laughter and for that blessing, Taylor X, and Dr. Robert Gross for reading for us the land acknowledgement. So again, welcome to the Revolution of Love, everyone. I think you know who I am. If you don't, that might be a little concerning. I will remind you, I'm Reverend Felicia Perizader. And this multi-path ministry and movement started in 2012. Oh, and before I forget, yes, my pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs, and I am acknowledging the stolen lands of the Chemehuevi and the Southern Paiute, which is now known as Henderson, Nevada. I'm a spiritual eclectic, and simply I love God. That is my path. I will be reading the mission and the vision statement because I really am excited for this Art is Resistance time tonight, and I want to just let us jump right in. So I'll read you the mission and the vision, and then we will begin. Okay, let's take a breath before I read this. Another breath, please. And an exhale. The Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement mission statement is to create courageous multi-path communities through healing services, educational offerings, and the study and practice of abolition for dynamic inner and outer transformation. The vision statement: to bring hope, inspiration, education, and action to every change agent in the world. If you are breathing, you are a change agent. Who, me? Yes, you. We welcome all of who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, and we love you because we get to, because that's how it ought to be. The time is now, and this is the revolution. I want to give a shout out to Manny Figueroa, who I think might be joining in by phone tonight. So everybody send Manny some love, as he can't be here, but he is here, but he can't be doing all of this great stuff that he normally does for us so effortlessly. So you've got me doing it tonight. So we love you, Manny, if you're tuning in. Let's see. If you are so moved, please do what you can. Donate a few bucks, a few pennies, a few something. Thank you to those of you that donate every month on the Patreon, that also donate via Venmo and PayPal. We give thanks for you. That's what keeps literally the Zoom app going, our Hootsuite account, all of the different expenses that we actually do have and overhead. So thank you for that. That sustainability goes a very long way and brings in such important energy to keep the revolution going. Yes, yes. So thank you for that. You can find this link on our Linktree and all the ways to donate. Okay, everyone. So let's see who all would like to go. Do we have some people? I'm going to look right now. I'm just going to go in the order that you all wrote something on the chat. So I see Judy, and then I see David. So Judy, would you be able to bless us first off? And before we go, let me just say this: we will have our Revolution of Love blessing of we see you, we hear you, we love you. We will do 3 really big ones at the end. We won't do it after each person goes. We will do 3 really gargantuan blessings at the end. Okay. So Judy, if you are ready, we are ready. Yes?
Yes, I'm ready. Can you all hear me? Okay, because my internet is really bad and I have to turn off the video so that my sound doesn't break up real bad. I wrote a poem a couple weeks ago. It was inspired by a photograph I saw. It's called Little Pony. Multicolored pony, brown and red, a child's toy, well loved, surrounded by sawdust and sunlight. The camera closes in. It's not sawdust, sticks, broken bits of a railway station. Not a multicolored pony, simply brown. The red, where the one who loved this pony bled. This pony is dead.
Thank you so much, Judy. Can you please say, just don't get too long here, but would you like to offer a couple sentences of what that means to you?
When I was watching the news about the railway station in Ukraine that was blown up, I saw a pony and I thought at first, oh, it's a red and brown pony. And all I could think was a little child, when they had to leave their house, that was what they grabbed. They weren't going to let go of that pony if they were okay. And there was blood all over it. It was awful, terrible picture.
Thank you, Judy, for expressing yourself here with us. Everybody, put your arms up, hands up, rather. Give Judy some love and gratitude. And also, yes, I see people writing in the chat. That is wonderful too. So giving thanks for you, Judy, and your voice and expression. And now we'll move to David. If you're ready, David, we are ready.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so I put a link to this poem that I'm going to read in the chat, and you can pull it up now, you can pull it up later. It is a Easter poem, and of all things, I'm going to dedicate it to Rev tonight. It's titled, "This Alleluia in the Air." I've heard the tale of an empty tomb and a child born of a virgin's womb, of water made to finest wine and bread enough for all to dine. The story goes he rose again, unique among the dead of men, walked on water, calmed the storm, many a miracle did perform. But this Alleluia in the air is misdirected at the man over there, because the resurrection he wants to see is daring life for you and me. He is not here, said the man in white by the folded linen in the morning light. He'd moved through crowds in an early scene, untouched by those who meant him mean, told parables that gave folks pause, and even challenged holy laws. On the cross, he bled and gave up breath, though now we say he conquered death. But this Alleluia in the air is misdirected at the man over there, because the resurrection he wants to see is daring life for you and me. He passed through walls, or so they say, on the evening of that Easter day, showed wounded hands and pierced side, as if to prove he'd really died. Martyred for the grace he preached, the outcast ones he dared to reach, the welcome that he tendered wide, on Friday last, that welcome died. But this Alleluia in the air is misdirected at the man over there, because the resurrection he wants to see is daring life for you and me. I worry we're unwitting when we say his body lives again. We miss that he lived once and well, and now his life is ours to dwell. Whatever Easter claims is true, it means to claim for me and you. The stone that needs be rolled away is that which stops our lives today. And this Alleluia in the air is misdirected at the man over there, because the resurrection he wants to see is daring life for you and me. Yes, the resurrection he wants to see is daring life for you and me.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, David. I know you have another one, so I just kind of jumped into to wow. I hope you don't mind. So everybody give David some love. David, did you want to go again right now, or what do you think?
I'll let other folks go and you can come back to me later on.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for that powerful poem. So we're off to a wonderful start. Yes, think of all the incredible, just from Judy to David, and there's going to be more. Just our community. Such a blessing, such a blessing. So I think we have Robert Gross. Dr. Rob, are you ready?
I am ready. So I have a poem that I wrote this week. It is kind of short, but to the point. So the poem is called Here We Call It Pop. You call it a difference of opinion. Here we call it transphobia. You call it CRT and made it a bad thing. Here we call it actual history. You call it men's rights. Here we call it misogyny. You call it IQ and scholastic aptitude test. Here we call it ableism. You call it class warfare. Here we call it economic justice. You call it soda. Here we call it pop. On that, we can agree to disagree. Thank you.
Snaps, everybody, snaps. Yes. Thank you so much, Rob. We are
My pleasure.
Yes, bringing it, bringing it. I think we have Nancy Day. Nancy, please, everybody, fill out that chat for folks as they present too. Sorry, Nancy, you go ahead now.
That's okay. I apologize. I look a bit disheveled. I've had quite the day. I'm very glad to be here. I wrote this thinking about art as resistance, and I'm going to take a leap here. And instead of reading it, I'm just going to improvisationally sing it. Haven't even read this yet. It's fresh. Art as resistance, a form of prevention. Art as persistence to announce, get attention. Art as resistance, refusal to comply. Creating alternatives, the voice of asking why. While opposing the isms and atrocities, oppression, peacemakers for justice, not allowing regression, loving all life, all lives have purpose, equal rights, choices matter, Black Lives Matters, while keeping heads high, possibilities in our sights. Fending off violence, defending human dignity, preserve the earth, our refuge for you and for me. Art as resistance, a speech, a drawing, a song, a dance, a play, an improv, bravely declaring right from wrong. We're creative and supportive of what keeps love and peace. Art as resistance, anti-violence, anti-hate, gathering together so we may cease. What keeps joy from flowing? What keeps minds from growing? Water from flowing, children from knowing, freedom necessary for every heart, for education, art for resistance and application of human creation. I didn't know how that'd go, but there you go.
Woo! That was just, you just improv that.
I just improv singing it, and I just wrote it before roll. I thought, well, it'd be interesting to try to put art and the idea of art as resistance, art and resistance applied as resistance. So
Thank you so much, Nancy. That
Thank
was
you.
Nancy Day on the improvisational aspect of life. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So who is next? Who is next? We've got, oh, Taylor X. Taylor X, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Love it.
Okay. This one's called I Try So Hard. I try so hard to be normal. Well, what is normal anyway? Well, I don't know what's really normal, but I know that you're not. I've been told that numerous times. Is it because I just can't seem to do small talk? I don't stay with one group too long so they don't get too close to me. I mean, I'm polite. I'm not a nasty person. And at the bar, I usually sit alone, waiting for my turn to sing. Yeah, I spend a lot of time in karaoke bars. I can sing as good as Joe Strummer or Bob Mould, sometimes CCR, but I always tip the KJ and the bartender. Usually I just drink Diet Coke. They'll cut me off when I've had too much. There's so many great singers that go to karaoke, but who knows why they're here instead of selling out an arena. I'm just glad they say, hey, how you doing? Good job on that song. I know not too many normal people would get up and sing. They're too self-conscious. If there ever was a chance for me to be normal, that boat was burned a long time ago. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Thank you so much, Taylor X. Everybody, let's give Taylor X some love, some snaps, however you do it, you do it. Thank you,
Thank
Taylor
you.
X. Thank you. Okay, and now who do we have? We have Margaret. Yes, Margaret, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Sending you love, as I'm sending extra love to you, Margaret.
Thank you. I'm going to give a little introduction about this particular poem. One of my childhood friends that I used to sing with actually passed away yesterday. So she passed over to the other side, and after many months battle with neuroendocrine colon cancer. So it, of course, has been a weekend of reflection and grieving, love and loss, connecting with other people that have been connected to her. I found out last week that she was in hospice care, and trusting that someone was monitoring her phone, I sent her this poem by Rumi. It's called The Window. Your body is away from me, but there is a window open from my heart to yours. From this window, like the moon, I keep sending news secretly. That's it, a very brief poem, but to me it was very meaningful. So I have a second poem that I wrote reflecting on my mom's death. So you can see that grieving and loss and love have been kind of my headspace and my heart space this weekend. This poem is called Freedom. Finally, my mother breathed her last. Even as I held her hand and my sister's hand, even as we sang Amazing Grace, even as we told her that if she was ready, she could let go. And then she did. Oh, amazing grace, my mother is now yours. That's it.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing both of those poems. And I hope you see that there's a lot of love coming in for you in that chat there. People are commenting, and yes, so we love you.
Thank you.
Now let's see. I think, did we make it through everybody one round? Because then we can come back. And David has another poem. Did I miss anyone at all that wanted to go? Okay, well then let's just go for it. And also just to bookmark something or lift up something, I'm thinking that we might go off the live. If there isn't anyone after David, maybe we go off of the live and we can have an impromptu, like people can share, not like a group therapy thing, but just sharing for those that maybe do not have anything to present, that may just want to check in and feel a little bit more connection. We do have some new faces and some people that are returning that haven't been with us for a minute. So that might be nice, but we won't do that live. So without further ado, David, you might be taking us out, at least in the artist resistance portion. So excited to hear you again.
Okay, so I put a link to this one in the chat as well. I did not know that Margaret was going to read the one that she read about her mom, because I wrote a poem about her mom's death. Whoops. And I was going to read it because in some ways it shows art, if not as resistance, art as tool for meeting grief. So this one, It's called Call Waiting, and the little story behind it is that Margaret got a call on a Saturday morning that her mom had suffered a massive stroke. This was in the fall of 2001, so quite a while ago. And she immediately hopped in the car to start driving to St. Louis, packed her things, and I was here in St. Paul, and it was sometime shortly after midnight that she gave me a call from her mother's hospital room to say, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm sound, I'm with my mom, and my sister is here. And then she said, hold on, something's happening. And so I was, in essence, I found myself on call waiting. Call waiting. May I put you on hold for just a second? Always meant several minutes resting my ear against the phone, grudgingly, impatiently, indignant that call waiting hardly ever seemed any great benefit to me. That all changed, however, last night as I listened in the silence, hearing now your breathing, then your weeping, then your singing, knowing this moment of waiting was sacred beyond measure. For this call on which I now waited was not of this world, but the next, raising mom through death to life, carried well by soft melodies of amazing grace. I am sure mom heard in your voice at this end the now rising chorus of those glad to greet her at that end. Here, though, is but the merest of miracles, for I was not alone in being made to wait while matters more earnest received their due. Think of God who had called to mom out of the early morning dark. See how all day long she resolutely, even stubbornly, refused to click back over, eager to go, but not quite yet. May I put you on hold for just a second? Even God must wait for a daughter on her way. Only then, you three wise, weary women, having fashioned in this night a trinity quite holy in itself, finally mom turned heavenward, knowing you were home. And the beauty, the extra beauty of this poem, if you find it online, it's an acrostic, which means that there's a message spelled out in the left margin, first letter of each line, if you read straight down. And of course, Margaret's mom was in a coma when she got to the hospital room, and so had no voice to speak. And so I hid her mother's voice in the margin of the poem. When you read the first letter of each line straight down, it spells out, Margie, thanks for coming home to see me off.
That is very powerful. That is very powerful. Thank you so much, David. Goodness gracious. Wow. We thank you. Don't we, everyone? Yes. Powerful poem and powerful poems and words and song and sound. And so who would like to go? Is there anyone else that would like to share something before we might shift here? Because it's only 6:36. So we do have more time. If someone has been a little hesitant, a little shy, come out wherever you are.
Okay, you talked me into it.
Okay, and then I think Nancy might have one too. So Evie, and then I think Nancy wants to go.
Well, Nancy can go first because I kind of have to prepare. I was not fully prepared.
Nancy, did I see that correctly? Was I reading you correctly?
Yes. Okay. Well, I wrote this recently, and thinking about art as resistance. Here we go. eyes and ears open. One who kills others' innocents and their loved ones. One who kills and lies to one's own people and country. One who kills and destroys the earth and living creatures with planned accord, knows nothing of the value of life, the wisdom of love, the fairness of preservation, the beauty of coexistence, the harmony of peace. May we know what is true and not be misled by those hungry for power for selfish reasons. Eyes and ears open. Let's allow compassion to lead our ways and healing to be our goal and truth to be our conscience. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Let's just bask for a moment and breathe. We've heard already a lot. So it's nice to maybe just take a pause, take a breath, a breather. So breathing. And Evie, if you are ready now, I think that we're as ready as we're ever going to be.
Okay, forgive my voice. I'm not been feeling very well. I catch everything the kids catch. So I did find driftwood, and it's not very long. Driftwood, flawed by time and age, born of timber, ships, or piers, blemished by uneasy years. Driftwood, grayed by salt and sun, reflected when the sea is calm, beauty found in spite of harm. Driftwood, battled by capricious seas, caged in long and murky weeds, always hoping to be freed. Still driftwood, destined by tides of time, lacking compass, plot, and aim, now beached by grace and mercy, God's victory to claim. It seemed to fit the tone tonight.
Yes. Did you want to say something about that, Evie? Not too long, but just fill it out a little bit, just to share a little more on it.
Just that I realized tonight just how much I'm still grieving my mom, because I didn't allow myself to grieve because we'd had such a difficult last 10 years together. And it's good to feel this.
Yes. Yes. Well, I pray that this feels like a very good container for you, for all of us, all of you that are sharing and expressing, that this is a solid container and that we get to hear one another, like I said earlier. Thank you, Evie. So I see that Stephanie had her hand raised, and forgive me, I did not see. So I think we'll go Stephanie, and then Taylor X has another one. Is that correct? So let's see, Stephanie, we are ready. And everybody welcome Stephanie. She's never been to a service. So give her a nice welcome. And Stephanie, are you still with us? And are you, yes, if you can unmute, then we can hear you. Are you having some troubles with the mute? Oh, there you go.
I got it now, sorry. It's just on my phone and everything's so small. I really feel glad to be here tonight, and I feel very humbled by everyone's poems and songs, and mine's a little more simplistic, but that just came to me today. It goes like this: happy people smiling, unhappy people crying, sadistic people taking joy and destroying, Happy people with closed eyes, not even knowing. Happy people so self-absorbed. Numb people just not caring anymore. Once happy people are now dying. Whoever imagined what was yet to come. Happy people whom are denying until the day is done. Fed up people stand up straight and tall. Insightful, present, empathetic people protesting against violence towards us all. Kind, loving people praying that the violence and killing will just stop, just crumble and fall.
Everybody give some snaps, some love. Stephanie, thank you so much. Welcome to Roll. And thank you for sharing your words and your vibrations and your love with us and expressing and feeling safe enough to express here. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Felicia.
Yes. I see Gustavo is with us. But I did say so we'll have Taylor X, if Taylor, I think he wanted to go again, and then Gustavo, we'll have you go after. Taylor, you ready?
I'm ready. Thank you. I love the ocean. When I went to Long Beach City College, I always took classes that were in the afternoon and evening so I could go body surf before classes. It was so powerful, an endless sea. With my music and acting classes, I got A's and B's. But for all the academic classes, I was the worst student ever. Straight D's and F's. I saw my transcripts recently, and I had to realize what a fuck up I was. Why can't I just focus, do the work? The ocean made me feel human, like I was part of something good. Too bad I couldn't get a grade for body surfing. Thanks.
Keeping it real, always. Keeping it real. I love it. Thank you, Taylor X. Thank you. Yes. And now we have Gustavo. Gus, it's great to
What?
see you.
Don't
Hi,
touch
everybody.
me.
Hi, Reverend Felicia.
I'm
and
freezing
Reverend
out
friend
in my
Felicia.
school right now.
Let's see. Well, I have a sign. First of all, I have a sign that says "Create World Peace," but I'm kind of holding it up with my. But I thought that would be cool.
So cool. Can
It
you
was
see?
used
Can we
for
see it a little more?
what? What'd you say?
Yeah, I was just wanting to see it a little bit more there. That's so cool.
I made it for the peace rallies that we've had for Ukraine, but for all of Europe, including Russia, and all of and for the world, including you, everybody that's listening. And I better cut to the chase and read this poem. Okay, it always takes me a second, like stage fright or whatever this is called. I don't know. They say that's good. So here we go. I'll take just a moment to center myself, and then it's called Eureka. I found it. Closer to the light. Okay, sorry. Okay. It's all so true. Still nervous, still restless, uncomfortable in my skin. I fought hard for success. I've tried so hard to win. I kept on moving forward, but then I'd fall right back. I'd move along the noble road, then fall right off the track. Today I'm substance free. Naysayers ask a question. It's when I have my head up, the critics always mention. They bring up all my monsters, acknowledge all the flaws. We're more than criticisms. We're not just your lost cause. We're the bamboo in the Orient that shoots into the sky. We're the condor in the Andes, soaring through the sky so high. With the vision of a hawk, I see you with my heart. To those who claim I'm lost, I say this is but the start. The beginning of a journey, navigating through the strife, like the captain of a ship sailing on this boat called life. You move forward through the maze. Don't get stuck in winding hallways. Listen to the sound of nature Sensontle equint Yahweh. Move forward, yes, move onward. Open up to understand. Though you've looked elsewhere for paradise, sacred ground is where you stand. You have traveled through horizons, to lands both far and near. You can finally shout Eureka. You have found it. You are here.
Yes, yes. Yeah, come on now. Thank you so much, Gus. Great to see you as always, whenever you touch in. So if anyone else like to go while we're here, it's 6:47, so we have time for some more, or we can end it now. We'll just stay for a moment, see if anyone needs to kind of take some time. Am I not seeing a hand that might be raised? Let me just look. Blessings to the Bishop. I see Bishop is tuned in. Again, blessings to the new folks like Stephanie and some people that haven't been here in a while, like I believe Aaron might have been here, and yes, anyone else I might be missing. Taylor, do you want to go one more time? Or are you saying hi to everyone?
Just saying hi to everybody.
That's right. That's how it's done. Okay, well, I think, we don't need to have the hour-and-a-half service, folks, that we used to have. We can actually end early. How about that? How about some time boundaries, right? You know what we're going to do? That we're going to close a little bit differently. And that is, I know of someone that in our community, that being Leslie D. Judd, that I will say a prayer for. And then I would like us to popcorn style. And if you have a prayer that you would like to offer the way that you pray, then please do. So we'll trust that when we come off of mute, that it won't be like pandemonium. We're going to trust spirit on this process. And I'll start us off, and then we'll sit Quaker style. People can come off mute, say a prayer for yourself or for someone else or for the world, and then I'll close us out at the end. Okay. And my dog just jumped on my lap, so he wants to be part of this as well. Okay. So let us find ourselves again, just really basking. And we will also have the roll blessing at the very end for all of this to wrap this up nicely in a big bow. So let us bask, though, in everything that we heard, all of these expressions, all of these emotions through sound and through frequencies that we may not always stop and get to hear. Really recognizing the importance of each other and stopping to pause and intentionally connect with one another in this space. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, my friends, when we get to sit here. Let us come back to the knowing that we are made in the image of God, and that the person in the Zoom box next to you also is made in that image. Or maybe it's love. Maybe you prefer it to be said that way. But that this is what we are here for, is to love. Is to love, is to heal. And that, of course, creates radical change. And so we breathe now, we breathe in. We exhale. Giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks for all that was spoken by everyone here today. And right now, specifically raising up a prayer for Leslie and her family, knowing Leslie is right where she needs to be, and just an enveloping blanket of truth and of good tidings, and of course, love around her right now. And I pass to whoever would like to say a prayer next. or maybe it's a word, or maybe it's a blessing.
I too would like to say a word of blessing and hope and healing for my friend Terry's family, for all the friends that she's made through the years, knowing that her bright light has left this earthly plane, but burns brightly elsewhere. And we will hold her in our thoughts and our memories and our prayers forever. And I pass to the next person.
I would like to ask all that's loving, beautiful, creative, and kind in the great mystery to comfort those of you who've come forward with your grief this evening. I also lost a dear friend a week and a half ago in a car crash, a sudden loss. And I also have a dear friend, Jane, whose mother is in hospice and on a lot of morphine. And Jane and her family are struggling, and her father as well. And I'm really thankful to be here and to hear your stories.
I would like to say a really well-known prayer, but it reminds me of my service dog that I used to have, and she died about maybe 14 months ago, and her name was Serenity. And I like telling people her name because I hope that it would evoke this prayer in their mind. And it's just a simple prayer that everyone's probably heard before, but God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the courage to know, and the,
Wisdom.
courage, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I just love that prayer. It's really close to my heart because I chose that name Serenity for my dog really based on this prayer because she was so helpful to me and so loving. And I hope one day I'll find another dog like her. So, and I hope her name did help other people think of this prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was inspirational. What everyone has said is thank you for praying for us all. And thank you, everybody. I wrote something and it's called Serenity. And I wasn't sure if I'd read it because it's like prayer in poetry form. And so I don't know if it's more than of a poet than a prayer, but it's both. And it's called Serenity. And it's about achieving that through the chaos of life and all of our challenges. For me, that includes addiction, but I'm sober today with 32 days sober today. So I suppose I'll go for it, right? And I'll read this poem prayer called Serenity. That's God or Goddess, a higher power, bringing this all to us in poetry form and prayer. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. Thanks so much for your patience. It's called Serenity. Do I raise my voice or do I raise my fist? Morning dew comes over me. I feel the morning mist. New morning has arrived and I salute the dawn. Is this tranquility a mirage? Is this peace a con? I feel a torment coming deep down in my bones. Prepare for the hurricane, brace for the cyclone. For oftentimes I welcome a peaceful situation. This chaos overcomes, and then there's hesitation. Just when the coast is clear, the other shoe does drop. It seems I lose my peace. It seems I lose my lot. Look forward to beginning, say goodbye to dismay. Whatever time it is, we can restart our day. God, free us from this anger, release me from this pain. I want to find a sanctuary, the eye of the hurricane. I'm looking for the ocean cruise, happiness on an eternal ship, but I'd rather pursue well-being, wholeness in relationship. For if we pursue happiness and happiness is fleeting, it's like looking for a magic bandage when we're eternally bleeding. A byproduct of this journey, nothing more and nothing less, is when you least expect it, you'll have a sense of happiness. And as we are well-being, it's like being reborn. Then we can be serenity, the calm amongst the storm. Amen.
I'd like to offer a word of encouragement, which for me is perseverance. I think it's kind of a common knowledge that the last lap is always the hardest. And in my journey of selling, buying, I'm in the last lap. Within the next month, I will be moved into my new place. But I'm surrounded by the mess of packing, and I got sick, and I'm overwhelmed with the whole process. And being together with you all has helped a lot. Today, I needed this. And but remembering the things I persevered in the past, that's giving me the strength right in this moment that I will get through this mess and I will be moved in and be time for a new journey, but probably not one as difficult as this. Thank you.
I got a prayer.
Yes.
Is there anyone else in line?
Go ahead. It's
Oh.
all-
Great architect of the universe, how good and pleasant it is to dwell among the frater and soror. Thank you for all you have bestowed upon us. Help us to practice outside of the service those great moral duties that are inculcated within it. In you, we give thanks.
Mm. Yes. Other prayers or burning desire prayer that someone would like to share? Okay, so let us take a wonderful deep breath in once again, breathing in through the nostrils. And then that wonderful exhale out of the mouth. I'd like to bring in some body stuff here. I'd like you to take your hands, if it is comfortable for you, and just place your hands maybe on your legs if you are so able, just on your thighs, in an affirming touch that you are here in this moment, and to just ground all of this joy, all of this wonder, all of this expression, all of this art that we just heard, this love from one another, just ground, 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 ground. And then after you do that, you could even run your hands down your legs again, if this is something you are able to do. After you do that, give yourself a big hug. And give yourself a nice big hug, hug your shoulders. Keep breathing. And then the next thing is to maybe bring in some love, bring some love into your heart and hold there. And again, a nice breath, breathing, breathing, breathing in all the while. And maybe it's not necessarily your heart where you need to bring in the love. Maybe it's your stomach. Maybe you're feeling a little bloated. You're feeling not so good. So maybe you bring some love to your stomach, or maybe it's like your mind. You need some like calm and love, bring it into that head space there, your throat. Just kind of listen to your body right now, family. And then this one I just saw as you all were praying, I kept seeing us do this. And I'd like you to kind of rub your hands together, like you're bringing like a big ball of energy in, you're rubbing your hands together, and then you're releasing it up to the sky. You can even look up if you'd like. So you can do that again. So rub your hands together and then release it up to the sky. This is sort of like a bringing out or extending out joy, extending out love. You can extend it out wherever, maybe not just out to the sky, maybe just around you. Maybe it's just someone on the Zoom. And so with that, closing this up, giving thanks for all that has been spoken in each and every individual here, and their love and their courage, and yes, their joy and their grief and their praise, and all of the pieces that makes us human, that gives us this fascinating experience, this really wild experience called life. Let us come back into this knowing of who we are, that we are made in the image of you, Holy One, and that all of us are connected in that Imago Dei, in that image of love. What a joy it is to be here with everyone. Let us be reminded of this moment. If we ever despair or become anxious or grow worried, remember the moment of connection we've experienced tonight. And the people said, Amen. Let us come off mute and say gargantuan blessings of we see you, we hear you, we love you. So ready? 1, 2, 3. We see you. We hear you. We love you. See you. We hear you.
We
hear you. Love
We
you.
love you.
We see you.
We see you.
We hear
We
you.
hear you. We love you.
Blessings, everyone. Job well done. Job well done.
Blessings. Thank
I
you.
hope. Oh, you are most welcome, everyone. Let's come off mute if you're not already off mute and say our goodbyes.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks
So
for
long, everyone.
Thanks for
Bye.
all
Thank
the
you to
love.
everyone who shared
Good night.
tonight.
Yeah,
And
great
thank you for being
service.
here.
Thank you.
Peace
Thanks,
to all of
everybody.
you, and thank you, Reverend Felicia.
Oh, thank you, everyone. So great to be with you all. So great to